Jarvis Christian College. We're so excited this afternoon that on this first broadcast we have the Chief Executive Officer and President of Jarvis Christian College, our esteemed President, Dr. Lester C. Newman. Dr. Newman, thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Pruitt, and hello and good evening to everyone who's listening to us today. Delighted to be here.
We're glad that you're here, and we know that you're a busy man, so we won't waste a whole lot of time with preliminaries. But just want to kind of get an idea from you how Jarvis has been doing since this COVID-19 pandemic. I know you've been in higher education as a president for over 20 years, but as a higher education professional for more than that. So tell me about how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the higher education landscape.
Well, first of all, to answer your first question, Jarvis is doing well. So I want everybody to know that we're still holding our own. As we say here at Jarvis Christian College, we're Jarvis strong. Certainly we have gone through some trials and tribulations as other schools, but we're coming through that. This has been, I guess, in my years in higher education, and certainly as a college president, it's probably been the most challenging time that I've ever encountered. However, having the people in place who have the love and understanding of higher education and working with a very strong board that gives you the support to do what you need to do, we've been able to come through this. And I can't say enough about the faculty and staff at Jarvis Christian College and our students. It was a great challenge for our students, many of them, because they had to go home or really stay at home because of spring break. They did not come back to us after spring break. But many of them stayed in school and in spite of the struggles that they had, and they finished, and we're quite proud of it. As a matter of fact, through this period of time, we had more graduates to graduate from Jarvis Christian College than we've had in 40 years. So that says that we're still doing the business that we're here to do, educating young people and giving them that opportunity to move on to greater things.
Right, absolutely. Well, we know that in the fall, we've been virtual this fall, but we're bringing a contingency of students back in the spring. How did that decision come about?
Well, listening to our students, we're always constantly reaching out to them, and every time you get something from them, they want to know when they're coming back. So as a college president, I felt that we had an obligation to at least try. And we got busy, in a sense, and put our heads together, and we don't know until you get everybody back that we have a plan that will work. We need all of our students and parents to be supportive of it. We know that we can't do what we have done in the past. Things are not the same, and it will be stress and strain on all of us. But if we work together, we can get through this.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I do understand that students have been reaching out to everybody because they wanted to come back. We know that there were some institutions that did open in the fall. They've had some degree of success, some more than others. Were any of those successes and/or challenges, did they impact our decision to bring students back?
Well, it did. One of the things I've always done is that you always have to be willing to learn from others, and I've always monitored what other people are doing to see whether or not we're in the same field. And so I watched what some of the other institutions were doing, and those schools that created sort of a bubble that kept students safe once they got to the campus, they stayed on the campus, and they did constant testing. One of the things I've learned in looking at the data is that if you do constant testing and keep students safe and don't allow too much coming and going on and off the campus, you have a pretty good chance of keeping students safe and getting them through the semester. As a matter of fact, we sent our Vice President for Student Services and our emergency management person to one of our sister institutions who so far has a pretty good track record. Certainly they've had some viruses on the campus, and all campuses will have some, but they were able to manage it. So we sent them there to see what they were doing, and they came back with some great ideas, and we're implementing those ideas. We just hope our students follow the rules. If our students are willing to follow the rules, we can get through this.
Yeah, and one of the things I was going to ask you, we know that the pre-COVID rules and the post-COVID rules will not be the same. And so I think you just answered that question, that it will be necessary for students to understand that we're trying to keep them safe.
Trying to keep
not only everybody safe, everybody
yes.
in the community,
Yes.
as we say here at Jarvis Christian College,
Yes.
safe. So they will have to abide by those rules.
Yes.
We know that during this time with distance, I think a part of our theme this year is wherever you are, we are separate but not apart. Wherever you are, we are. So we know that communication is very important during this time of being separate and being apart. How have you and Jarvis Christian College communicated with various constituencies on campus?
Well, first of all, we've communicated through emails and letters that we've sent to the students. I've had several emails that I've sent to students, particularly at the beginning of the pandemic and coming into the fall of this semester, letting them know where we are, what we're doing. All of my vice presidents have communicated with students, and I think that it's been absolutely wonderful keeping them updated on what's going on, and even faculty and staff have communicated with students. And students have reached out as well. Occasionally I will get an email from students and we respond to them trying to address their concerns. But we also had Zoom meetings with students too, and I thought it went very well. Certainly there were some concerns about some students about them being able to come and go on campus, and unfortunately we had to tell them, no, you won't have that opportunity to come and go on campus. We're going to have everything that we can have on campus to be self-sufficient in terms of those things that you would normally go to the store and get. We're going to expand what we offer in our convenience store on campus. We're going to keep our grill open late, because I know as a student, when I was a student, you don't really get hungry until after everything closes, so then you want to go get something. So we're going to stay open at least until midnight to accommodate students who need to get that midnight snack to keep them going, because they're doing their we know they're doing their homework late. Yeah, but we're going to try to do everything we can to accommodate them. We know things will happen, and there will be occasions where we're going to have to address individual needs, but it's going to be such that it won't violate the bubble that we're trying to keep and won't violate the safety of the campus.
I think that has been a great communication plan, because parents as well have been able to be engaged and ask questions. So I think that's been a great plan.
Yeah, one of the things I want us to continue to do, because I was on the first Zoom call and I listened in on some of the others, because we had, particularly with athletes, we had a certain group talking with them. And I think we need to continue that type of communication from time to time, because I think it's very important that parents get that opportunity to call in to talk and hear firsthand. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's the parents that can say things that we get the students on the straight and narrow that they need. Sometimes they will listen to us and sometimes not. But when the parents say, yeah, they're right, you need to do this, then that just changes the whole environment. And they know that the institution and parents are working together for their safety to ensure that they get the education that they need.
I think that's a great idea, because even when students come back, we can have Zoom meetings with parents just to give them updates. So I think that's a great idea, and a better way for us to really engage parents. So I think that's a great idea. As you are thinking about Jarvis Christian College post COVID-19, what do you see on the horizon?
Well, I see great things on the horizon. First of all, although we're in some very challenging times at this point, I do see Jarvis coming out a lot stronger as an institution, because going through this really shows you the character of the institution. And for me, character matters. You show who you are when your back is against the wall. And I think we've shown who we are as an institution, given that our backs have been against the wall as other institutions. What I see in the future is that certainly we're going to have more online degree programs. This is the way of the world. This virtual life, whether or not we like it or not, we're going to have to accept it, because we're going to continue to do this. Because it's going to be some time before you can get back to what we consider to be the normal routine. And we may not ever get back to that, what we consider to be normal. It will be the new normal. So certainly, I do see Jarvis adding a few master's degree programs. One of my hope is one of the greatest hopes that I have is that Jarvis will become Jarvis Christian University by having several master's degree programs that allow students to move to the next level. Also, I see one or two technical programs, or in the technical science area of education, certainly computer science and perhaps an engineering degree. So some great opportunities, and we want to continue to expand our international opportunities for students. We've always had, for the past 4 years or so, we've had opportunities for students to go to China and to Even this semester, I think we will have, this coming semester, we will have some students taking virtual courses from some of the Chinese universities. We want to do that, expand that opportunity to other countries as well. We think that we have something great here at Jarvis, and we want others throughout the world to be able to have a Jarvis education, but also expose our students to other opportunities from other universities and countries as well.
So if there was a message that you wanted to send maybe to parents who their students are coming back, young people are coming back, to students themselves, and there may be some students who will see this and who want to stay at Jarvis, continue to get their education at Jarvis, but who want to stay virtual. At this time, they just don't feel safe about coming back. What would that message be?
Well, certainly. Well, as you said, Jarvis is wherever you are. That's our motto, our slogan for this year. We always couch it in the sense of community. We see ourselves as a community here. And if you want to stay at home and go to Jarvis, you can do that. If you want to come to Jarvis, you can do that. If you abide by the rules that we have. So we're going to be flexible enough to be able to accommodate our students regardless of their educational needs and how they want to be educated. So we're going to be here. Wherever you are, we're going to be here. And the other thing I would say to parents too is that we believe in what we call the Jarvis Promise. And the Jarvis Promise is that we are committed to educating students at a very reasonable, affordable cost. And we have kept our tuition and fees at the same level for 8 years. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of that 8-year period, we reduced our tuition and fees. So we understand the importance of providing an affordable education. And we even do more than that, because if a student comes to Jarvis Christian College and stays on track and take at least 15 hours toward their degree plan and pass those 15 hours, they can get a $500 discount on their tuition and fees the next semester. So if you're here 4 years, that's quite a bit that you have discounted on your tuition and fees that will allow you to afford to come to Jarvis Christian College. So we want to be that institution that not only provides you with that opportunity, but provide it at a cost that you can afford. And in addition to that, as part of our Jarvis Promise, for whatever reason, once you get out into the job market and your employer says that, look, we like you, we want to keep you, but you need to retool in a particular area, if we're offering that course here at Jarvis Christian College, you can take that course free. You can take up to 12 hours free once you've graduated. That's our promise to you. That's our commitment to you as a Jarvis student.
Right, and I know that's what we call the warranty, right?
Yes.
And actually, just this week, we actually have a student who graduated a couple of years ago who's actually coming back to take 12 hours. She wants to retool herself in one of our disciplines.
Yes.
And when I shared with her, reminded her of the Jarvis Promise, she was so excited. And so we're excited for her to come back and get retooled. I know you're not the kind of person that likes to talk about yourself a lot. I know you always want to stay focused on Jarvis Christian College or whatever you're doing. But there may be some students out there may be some alumni or parents who your story may be helpful for them. So can you kind of tell us how you started in higher education? How did you become a college president?
You would ask that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Well, I was raised by grandparents, born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we live in a community where there were a lot of elderly people. And I guess I was sort of adopted by the people in the community. So I felt I could do no wrong. So they all expected me to go to college. And I knew I was going to college because I went through a high school where that was always emphasized. And fortunately for me, I went to a university, Southern University, where I had the support to do certain things. But even before I got to Southern University, I had the opportunity to represent my high school in a competition, an academic competition statewide. And the state competition was on Southern University's campus. And when I got to Southern University, I saw all these buildings and all these people on the campus and excitement on the campus. And taking a tour of the campus, I saw this house on the Mississippi River. And I wanted to know who stayed in that house. And they told me the president of the institution stayed in that house. So I said to myself at that time, I want to stay in that house. So I knew that at that time I wanted to be a college administrator, and that I was going to have a career in higher ed. And being a college president was one of my lifelong dreams, and I've been blessed to be able to do that twice in my life. So dreams do come true. Young black kid being raised in one of the poorest areas in Shreveport, Louisiana, in a community that many people thought would not be able to, were students coming out of that community. They did not think much of us in terms of what we'll be able to do in life. Has been a college president and has been able to meet presidents of this country and heads of states from other countries and travel the world. So if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Since the election of President-elect Joe Biden, and of course, significantly the election of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, a lot of light has been given to historically black colleges and universities. When someone says, why an HBCU, what would you say?
Well, we don't ask why any other institution, and we've had a history of educating not only African Americans, but anyone who wants to come to our institution, and they've done extremely well. When you look at the data, being as small as we are in terms of the numbers of historically black institutions, we educate a very large portion of professionals in any field, medical field, the sciences, and go on and on. So we hold our own, and we make a very important impact on this country. So if it were not for historically black institutions, many of us in critical positions probably would not have that opportunity, because we give an opportunity to those persons who are oftentimes overlooked. Because we come from poor schools, poor communities, the education system is not supported where many of us are raised, we're not given the look or the opportunity, or people don't think that we have the ability. It's not what you know at that particular time, it's the potential that you have within you. And if you go to a place that people believe in you and understand that you can do more than what you do. I went through a process, an educational process, both in elementary to high school to colleges, where I was pushed. People did not accept mediocrity. They demanded you to be your best. And that's what we do here at historically black institutions. And that's what our faculty and staff do here at Jarvis Christian College without students. So if it were not for a Jarvis Christian College or other historically black institutions, there would not be a Kamala Harris, perhaps, or any others, us who are in critical positions or key positions in this world.
All right. Well, Dr. Newman, thank you for your time. This has really been great. I think this is a great first start to our letting people know who Jarvis Christian College is. As often you've said to us, we are our own best kept secret. And I think there's information that needs to be out there about Jarvis for everyone to know what we're doing and the great work we're doing, of course, under your leadership. So thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who will be watching and listening and sharing in this very important interview with our president. We thank you for your time, and tune in again.